Okay, let's see if I could set this up a little bit here. Just pop up my pop it up here on my phone real quick. Hey Ren. There we go. Let me just turn the volume down here. So, okay. OBS. It's going to be hard to see this. You're going to have to bear with me for just 1 second here. So if I put this full screen, you may not be able to see. Let me just test it. Yeah, it's going to be a little more confusing. So I'm going to leave it minimized here just to show you. Ignore the top part from what you see up there. Basically if you're looking to set it up, right? There's a couple things for running OBS. You're going to need your account. I know you already went on there and you know it's a 24-hour wait with setting it up with YouTube. You can see how this will say offline until you go into OBS, but there's a couple things you're going to need to set up first, at least for me. Now, this down here is going to be where you link it to your YouTube channel. So once you have your YouTube channel set up and linked to OBS, it will appear here. So anytime you want to, say, share your stream with everybody, right there, that's my channel. You just right-click, copy it, and then what I do is I go right into Discord and I'll go under my channel and I'll either tag everybody or I'll paste it. What's up, Tim? So that's how I get that. Other things you're going to need. Your server URL for YouTube will go right there. Now, stream key. Keep this to yourself. I can't stress how important that is. And I'm sure in the tutorial video I sent you from Dusty, he says the same thing. It will never auto show this. See how it says reveal? Never reveal it. Always make sure that this is blocked out. But this is going to be your stream key. Let me just see under options here, because this setup has changed. Themes, store. This is your editor. And these should be your settings. So this is your general, right? So confirm stream title and game before going live. This is what always lets me, make sure I definitely want to go live before I do, so I don't, hit it on accident. Okay. Under stream, you're going to select your streaming service. Now mine's already set up. My streaming service is YouTube. You could change this to like Mixer, Twitch. What's the other one? Is it Vimeo? Vimeo. I think that's another one, but I'm not sure if it's an option. I can't do it now because I'm already on YouTube with this. You're also going to have to link, this is under the stream tab here in settings, your stream key. Do not show it. It'll always be right here. But once you generate your stream key, it goes there. Okay, this is under the stream. Under output. And some of this you're going to leave default. Some you're going to play around with. So for streaming service encoder settings, this should be on by default. I leave it on. Bitrate, you can adjust this, but as you'll see, his video explains it better than I do. But this can be adjusted up or down. What else is there? I don't use anything in this lower section here. One audio track, because I did add to where over here in the lower left-hand corner where my mouse is there. But that's with my overlay. Yeah, and here's the thing too. Vimeo it's a good option. A lot of people are going over to Twitch. Let me rephrase that. A lot of experienced, prolific YouTubers are also going over to Twitch, and that's because of the demonetization. It's also YouTube's been censoring a lot of stuff out. They're also putting up the copyright strikes against little things. I think ESO talked about this the other day. He was doing a Skyrim something. I think it was in this video 8 years later, things you still may not know video. I think there was like a 5 second audio clip, or what do you say, 15-second audio clip that was playing very lightly in the background, and some artist or some group put a strike up against it, which basically got his whole video demonetized. Even though he was talking over it, the volume was down, and there was game music on top of that. So you could see how petty it is. For a channel like mine, I don't care if they, I don't care about monetization first of all, because you need 1,000 subscribers. But I guess starting in the new year, or I think it might be December, like the 10th or whatever. This right here, you're obligated to tell us if your live stream is made for kids. So you would have to go to the live control room. Sorry, headphones. Um, this is all going to be new. So you're going to have to rate your content, and YouTube actually auto rates it for you. But basically, you need 1,000 subscribers to even fall into that category where your videos will be monetized. Also starting, I think it's the beginning of next year, or it might be with this here, with the live control room, any channel that YouTube deems as not being profitable for YouTube, meaning ads, they're going to auto-delete them. Or they'll pick and choose which ones may be deleted. So a channel like mine here, that like I live stream Skyrim through here, mine very well could be deleted directly by YouTube, even though it's, like I'm basically unfiltered. But once this goes into effect here, I'm going to have to change all my content to adult, like 18 plus, or what is it? It might be, I think it's like 17 plus throughout parts of the world. I know the age restriction is different, so I may have to set mine to 18. And even then, I run the risk of, stuff being censored, whether there's language or whatever. But that's pretty much all it ever is with me is I curse like a sailor. But I don't have anything up there that's, obviously no nudity. I think what else will get you immediately? I think YouTube will get you taken down. Pornography, nudity, violence towards children, stuff like that. They consider excessive violence is another thing, but they also consider almost everything with a little bit of blood excessive violence. So you could be doing like a documentary on, like say I'm doing a live stream based off of a documentary on, like illegal poaching. Okay. And I'm not showing any clips, but I'm talking about it. Or maybe I am showing clips, like pictures of poachers in, some remote part of Asia killing a tiger or something like that. There may not be a lot of blood, but they'll see like, oh, a dead tiger and poachers. Well, this content is disturbing. We're going to strike this video. We're going to censor it. We're going to take it down. Something like that. I can see like, yeah, and you know what? That's sad too. Like, and that's what makes me wonder. It's not just the whole kids thing here. I do wonder if it's like what you just said there. They'll probably say wait, hold on, let me read that. They'll probably say anything LGBT, not kid friendly. Well, yeah, it's exactly it. It's, to them they won't see it as kid friendly, but I have like, even growing up, I have a ton of friends, people I talk to. A lot of us have, obviously moved and, we're leading our own lives. But back when we were teenagers, this is, for me, when I'm say teenager, 93 through, 99, obviously. But that's when they, That's when they knew that they were like gay, or if they knew they were straight, or however, you know. But today, you know, it's like YouTube will censor things like that, which I think is an insult to everybody. Um, if my channel was geared towards, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something as an example. If it was like all like straight content, and I had a user that came by my channel and they were wondering like, well, why was I only covering a straight person's content? Why didn't I include it? Like, they might get offended, and then of course that would be stricken. My video would be censored. But the whole point of it is it was geared towards that particular group. It wasn't like I was excluding anybody, but the content of what I was doing was geared towards that, or vice versa. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, and like, it's the world, because it's too politically correct. People like walk on eggshells, or I think the majority of people walk on eggshells when it comes to stuff like that, when we shouldn't. And the powers that be tell us we have to anymore. Like, when I was growing up, it didn't matter. Like, we were just, you were who you were, and you were friends with people, and just because they were good people, it didn't matter, you know? Nesbitt, how are you? Yeah, fascism. 1984, Orwell, right? 2 plus 2 equals 4, buddy. And it sucks. I don't know how I got off at a tangent. This is supposed to be an OBS setup. So Ren, the main thing is it's the 24-hour wait for YouTube. I guess YouTube verifies, like, I had to wait, my full 24 hours, and I think I was 26 hours because I checked it. Let me go back to the settings here real quick. And again, apologies for the center of it, but if I change it off, you guys won't be able to see it. Right here in the lower where it says Northward Light, that's my current overlay. Okay, so I have my, be right back, starting soon. And you can hear the audio. I think it should pop right back on, right? And then obviously live scene. Live scene would be if you're going in game. So live scene would go to game capture, and then and you're gonna see this in a second. This display capture, this little eye icon, you're gonna close this to go to the game. I'm gonna reopen it so you guys can see that. It should click off for a second, and then it should click back on. Just like that right there. Tim's only 3 years, 3 years old viewing YouTube content, Tim. That's ballsy. But you could change your overlays anytime. It's usually, I think it's themes up top here. Now this vertical setup is different. This changed probably within the last 3 to 4 weeks. It used to be horizontally across the top. I kind of like the new layout. It's a little bit better. If I go to themes, right? They give you some themes to search. You can also make your own overlays. Yeah, and Nesbitt, I'm gonna have to do the same thing too. Once that thing goes into, I think it's December 10th. That's going to go into effect. But it's another thing by YouTube where they're going to wind up censoring a whole lot of content that's bullshit that they shouldn't be censoring in the first place. I can understand the need to keep kids kind of in the dark about a lot of things. So yeah, if you set all your content to 18 plus, and then a minor happens to visit it, I think there's supposed to be a prompt that says, are you 18? Well, how many times have you visited a site that said that, and you were underage, and of course you kicked I'm 18, and then there's no other checks, right? So unless YouTube has a check for it, like you have to verify your age, you could put any birth date you want in there, But I think that's just to cover your own ass. Like, you have to have that updated. So if I did a search here, let's just say Skyrim. Skyrim. Okay. And then you'll see, let me search. This should be all. So newly added. Okay. So you see Northward This is my old one here, this Northward Dark. Now I have the Northward Light because I like the little, it's like the ESO a little bit different. You can go down to here, Altered Carbon, Sanguine Sky. This is another one too. So now they're down to 4. There used to be 5 of them. Oh yeah, kids will always do that. Yeah, of course they. I was doing that when I was like, geez, like 15, 16 to view 18 plus content. Some websites, that had it, where you had to click on that. Yeah, obviously you're gonna do that. I mean, yeah, you're a minor, but what kid isn't curious, right? I mean, it almost doesn't matter the content, Could be porn, could be like an adult theme, non-porn related topic. Some politics are 18 plus, to be honest. Some of the stuff here, they want you to be 18 or older just to be in a political discussion, which I think is kind of bullshit. The earlier you start learning about politics, the better off you're going to be the older you get. That's just my opinion. Thanks, Nesbitt. No, I'm only doing this for a little bit, just to kind of show some setup stuff for OBS. Getting back to your editor. Okay, so you see here on the bottom there's a couple categories. Your mixer is going to be your audio and where you set up certain things. There's a little scroll here, so you can see my mic, auxiliary. I can mute this. Now you couldn't hear me. Now you can. And also the total volume. I believe it goes right there, but then, I would obviously want to bump it up a little bit more. So, the main thing here is sources. Sources are what's going to give you all of your displays and what you need to capture. So you'll see I start with game capture, display capture, and then some of these are also thrown in with your overlay. They're not the most important ones. The ones you're going to want are definitely your display capture, which gives you this, which I can shut on and off if I want to go into game. Then you see my game captures right there, okay? But this will bring you back to here. To add sources, the little plus icon. Okay, if I hit this, and it tells you which one you want to go to. You get the add source right here, right? You would select from one of these. You could add a scene. There's display capture, there's game capture, so these two are right next to each other. Media source would be video, audio. Okay, so like how I have the copyright free music when I have the welcome stream starting soon or be right back. When it's supposed to be when the BRB message is up, but sometimes it doesn't work. That's media source. Like if I clicked on media source, you could see what it accepts. These up here, like MP4, .mov, .mp3, .avi, etc. You would hit add source, and then this has changed. See this add new source instead? You would turn this on, you would name it, then you would hit add source. So like media, I'll leave it at media source, but I'm going to hit add source here, okay? Then it brings up this, okay? This is going to be a local file. It's going to browse on your PC. So to give you an example, I'll hit browse, and these are the two pieces of music that I have, right? So when I do my modding stuff like today, I would normally use Lost Within. Red is when I'm usually doing my Skyrim streams, like the actual game. Okay, you would pick something. Make sure it's copyright free. Like and usually they make you put a disclaimer in. I think most of you guys have already seen I put that disclaimer in. Do you have a headset, Ren? Do you have a headset with the mic? Yeah, absolutely. Well, here's the thing. I would normally say pick up a cheap one, but good headset, good microphone. You're probably going to want to pick up at least a decent one. Like I have the Arctis 7 Pro headset, which has a built-in extendable microphone. And I have a bunch of options on the bottom of it too for volume. I think I have a gain option on it. And Rooster was actually very kind, and he gifted me a Yeti standalone mic. So I have that on the side too. I think that was in the picture that I sent you of my PC. Remember when I had the coffee the other day? And you saw the stand-up mic there? That was the Yeti. Right now I'm just talking through my headset mic, just because of my back, and like I would have to lean in a little further to the Yeti, so my back's just not at that point yet. But anyway, so this is how you would add, and I'm not going to add because I already have these in. The file would appear here, right? And if it's a piece of music like that that's copyright free, you're going to want to tick loop. That's just going to loop it over once it finishes, so that if you do happen to take longer than the time frame, like say you're on, you know how Couch Warrior does his. Now his might not necessarily be on loop, but he's got a mixing board and he's got all that music piped into track. Like if he puts his stream up, say, a half hour before 7 p.m. for him. So that way we're all sitting there lurking, just listening to the music. He's got his nice logo up. He may do something like loop, but he's got his own version. If you don't have a mixer, make sure you tick loop. But that's the only other thing you really need to. Speed, keep it at 100. You don't need to worry about any of this other stuff. Restart playback when source becomes active. Just that should be ticked. Loop will be unticked. And then you hit done. I'm going to hit cancel because I already have it. And it's going to add to here. So if I click on the source properties here, right, it's the same thing. It brings this right up. Okay. You could also delete them if you want. Remove sources from your scene. You need the scene. Scenes are important. So if I go to, not this one. Sorry, wrong one. If I wanted to add a scene, you would type in the name of the new scene, which would be live scene starting soon. Be right back. If you don't have an overlay, you just name the scene. You could have as many scenes, but you would need at least one scene to open up your sources. Okay. So like I have these, and that, like I said, that video that I sent you from was it Dusty Porter? I'd recommend subscribing to his channel. I know he's pretty much done with the OBS stuff, but they're a really, really, really good reference. I still go back and I rewatch a couple of his. I had to rewatch it when I wanted to do the overlays. And overlays are pretty simple. It's just you go there, you pick which one you like. Say I go to themes, and you like Assassin's Creed, right, Ren? Let's just see if they have anything similar to that. And it does like an auto search. Maybe I'll just type assassin. Hold on. Although assassin may be a word that it doesn't want you to use. Let me just try Creed, which I think is bullshit, but no. See, you're better off just making your own if you can, if you're talented like that. I'm like I said, even with Skyrim, it's just ESO. I was kind of hoping for a base Skyrim one, but I wonder if Oblivion. Let's try Oblivion. See if there's anything close to that. Nah, see, nothing comes up. Even if you hit this, it's so. Skyrim gives you 4. The 1, 2, Northward Light, Dark, Sanguine Sky, and Altered Carbon. And they're not even really, obviously the girl's not in the picture with these. It's the background you could see. These two are animated. You can see it animated, and these are prime. I think this one you have to pay for. I'm not sure. Most you don't, though. Hey, if you can make your own, that'd be great. Hey, yeah, we do lurk. We do lurk. Other things to note: stream health. Once you go live, you could always check your stream health. This is pretty much obvious. Red, orange, and yellow, or red, yellow, and green. I'm sorry. Your viewers are happy. Viewers may be experiencing minor issues. Mine tends to either be green or bad. It's either always good or I'll occasionally get, instead of this green line here, I'll get a red line, and then it goes away. Usually based on my stream options. So I have enabled DVR. Viewers will be able to seek back up to 12 hours while you're streaming, so they can go back. I only did one 12-hour plus stream, which is the 15-hour mega stream I did. I don't ever think I'll go back and do one that long unless it's, like a charity marathon or something like that. Um, Stream optimizations, normal latency or low latency. So this is best for real-time interaction, minimal playback buffering. I had to switch from normal to low, even with my Ethernet cable, um, just because of where I live. And I also lowered the settings to 720p. I had it at 1080. I found 1080 was a little much because it started to buffer, and that's when you guys all had issues with it. So I lowered it down, and I have it at low latency. And it seemed to be good since then. You guys, I haven't seen it have any real issues. Added delay, I don't have a delay added in. Advanced settings are here. You could see everything in here. Category, gaming. You put the name of the game in. Video, language, obviously. Your stats, recording. All of this is right here, right? Now, this is the one you're going to have to tick eventually. Enable age restriction. So you can see some changes are not yet saved. I'd have to save changes. But since this hasn't happened yet, I don't have to worry about it. It may not be saved. Yeah. I'll leave site. Okay. Go back to the dashboard here. Close that out. All right. What else here? Basic info. Obviously the chat's going to be here. Enable live chat. You're always going to want to make sure that's on. Slow mode, I have no idea. I'm assuming that's this. Limits chat post every 60 seconds per person. That's kind of ridiculous. So they'd have to wait every minute to post something. Nah, get out of here with that. This is how you could add, like I said, Ren, you're the moderator for my page. I could add other moderators if I want to. That's what this is here. Participants would be, if I want to add another participant besides myself, it'd be here. I think if I click on this, you can see it's just me as a participant since it's my channel. If I was going to have guests on, I would add them here so they could participate and you'd be able to hear them like you hear me. And then analytics, stream health. Analytics are basically, 4 people watching. I saw up to 6 before. That'll always change. Messages per minute. There's other analytics too. Time you start, I believe. This is full analytics. Stream good. No, it's 720p. I had it at 1080. It's 720, which is good. Health is good. And obviously other YouTubers can check theirs themselves. Camera angle is fine. Playbacks, stuff right here. This is what you check. I'll go back to my dashboard here. Stream health. No data, no active stream. I don't know why that's like that. I don't think there's any other issue. It used to be you went live here if you were just using YouTube Live and not using OBS, meaning you didn't have another way to set it up. You still needed your key. Your stream name key would be down here, and then your channel's name would be right here. So YouTube Live is different from YouTube itself. Like if I go to YouTube, here, give me a second. Your screen should change in a second there. I'll give it 1 second to swap over. Thank you, Ren. I appreciate that. Okay, so you'll see me up here on Google. Click on YouTube. So this will basically bring me to my YouTube. You can see my stuff over here. You see me up in the corner, my little Magus avatar, right? 9 videos that have come in that I haven't checked out yet. I will. like stuff I've, you know, when you like something, obviously it's recommended to you. So it pops up. You could say I watch a lot of wrestling, Skyrim, political, other stuff that pops up. So my subscriptions are down here. You can see them all. Um, this was a secondary YouTube for me. I had my first one, and I was subbed for like, I don't know, 150 different people. And then I wound up losing a lot of them when I swapped over this, and then I just couldn't remember because I was only on mobile at that point. But you can see they're all right here, people that I'm subbed to. And show less obviously minimizes it. Um, let's see here. But if I want to go to my channel, you know, I would click on my avatar here. Has me sign in, sign out, go to your channel. I have the dark theme on. And this is basically my channel. I can customize it. I have 60 subscribers. That's awesome. Thank you guys. I didn't even realize. That's cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. OBS is pretty easy to use. Like I said, I ignore a lot of these like, the alert box, chat box, this frame. I ignore this stuff. Main thing here is to keep these unlocked, and then when you're swapping between like media source, my display capture here. If I want to go to game capture, I would close this window so it'll automatically pick up your game. And then you're just going to want to play around with the audio. Desktop audio I normally leave up and I tweak it that way. Mic audio is usually here. And then if I'm on game capture, this has its own as well. So, and you'll see media source. Same thing with the starting soon. If I put starting soon up, you can see starting music right there. I can mute that. I can raise and lower the, say I want to lower the starting music. Now you can kind of hear it in the background. Now it's all the way up. Now it's not. So you see I normally keep mine somewhere around here ish, give or take. But that's basically what that is. So yeah, it's the waiting the 24 hours thing is kind of a pain. I had to wait like 26 hours, I think, because I had set everything up at the same time. And then I wanted to stream like immediately, like you were telling me before. They just don't let you do it, sadly. I don't know how Twitch is. I've never tried it. I don't know if Twitch immediately lets you stream. On console, when I was doing streams on console, you just get in game, you set up your broadcast through Mixer because it's built right in. You literally hit start recording or start stream, and if you have a mic, you could talk to people while you play the game. They could sit there and their chat's built in. So I know like when I'm gaming, there's a way to get the chat on the screen, but to me, I haven't done that yet for a couple of reasons. A chat screen in the middle of my gaming screen is annoying to me. Even if it's a little thing in the corner where I can kind of glance at it, it takes away from. I have a 27-inch monitor, and it would definitely take away from what I'm looking at. So that's why I just keep YouTube up on my phone with the chat, and I'll just kind of glance down at it. That's why some people have those 2 to 3 monitor setups. They have their gaming monitor like in front of them, the live chat monitors right off to one of the sides. I unfortunately only have one monitor, so I use my phone. So that's about it. Other than that, there's really not much else to it. It's really about picking up like an overlay, creating an overlay for yourself, getting music. If you have, if you make your own music, that's even better because then you don't have to worry about copyright. It's your music. You could add that in, or if you are using other music, copyright free. I will here. Let me just go back to YouTube itself. I'll show you a site I use for copyright free music. It's called 'Audio Library, and it's right here. So I'm going to pull this up. real quick. Audio library. I'm subbed to this. Music for content creators. Um, it's not necessarily geared towards video gaming, but there's a lot of content in here with the playlists, and you kind of just go through them and pick and choose. Some have vocals, some don't. I try to keep mine instrumental only. I think, like, starting soon to be right back is just a little bit better when it's non vocals, just music by itself. But these are all everything in this whole library is copyright free. There's videos for it, but just go into the playlist tab, sort by mood, sort by genre. And I mean, you could see them all. If you look at the numbers down here, like 155 in here, 522, pop, R&B, dance. What else do they have? Ambient. Ambient's a really nice category. Alt and punk, reggae, jazz, blues, holiday, blah blah blah. Cinematic music. This was a really good category too. Calm, 233 different tracks. Angry music, another good one of mine. Sad music. Dark music. This one's a pretty good one too, 125. This is just one that I'm on. I'm sure there's more, but it was a good source for me. It was one that popped up. I don't think it was the first one. It might have been the second one. They have 2.5 million subscribers, so you can see how popular it is. And a lot of the content creators I know make their own music, or for like if you guys have seen any of John Rose's streams that he's done, he could sing, he could play guitars. I think he said he could play bass. I'm assuming he could play piano. Maybe drums, I don't know. But he did a recent stream where it was just him playing some songs on the guitar. It was great. It was relaxing. I enjoyed it. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me close this out. I don't think I have anything else that I need to show on here. Oh, basic info. I just put, my channel's name. It's live stream. This may auto pop up for you based on what your channel's name is. This is what everybody's going to see. This is also where you could put links. So when people say put links in the description, this is the description box. Okay. So if I wanted to link up a music track, it would go here. If I wanted to link up a mod list, instead of putting, the entire wall of text, so you have a link, it goes here. If I have a Patreon page, that link would go here. So category, you could obviously change the category to anything you want that they have. Obviously, this is gaming. Put the name of the game in. That'll obviously change. Privacy is obviously public or unlisted or private. So if you want to make a private video, you can. Just make sure, main thing here, stream key. Keep this to yourself. Do not tell anybody. I don't care how good of friends you are with them, because once they get your stream key, they could post on your channel. And that could get people in a lot of trouble. Even if you trust them. I wouldn't, this is a thing here. I trust a lot of people, but I would still never give my stream key out to anybody, not even family members. If my niece ever wanted to use my YouTube, nope. Got to do it herself. Can't use mine. It's just very, very important for privacy. So, see, and there you go, Ren. I'm glad I helped you. It's, like I said, between me showing stuff like this, and I always reference other, like I said, I reference Dusty. I think, here, let me do that here real quick for those of you that haven't seen his. I know I sent Ren the link earlier. Where is he? Dusty Porter. Right here. So for anybody wondering, Dusty Porter, go to his playlists. Where did I get OBS? How to set up Streamlabs OBS, and he's got tech support. He's got one video there. I think that's all. How to record gameplay footage. So he's got a lot. Go to his created playlists and his saved playlists. I'll pull up this one here. We'll go to view full playlist. How to set up stream labels, donations, set up live events, how to build a website for Twitch and YouTube. Let me go back one. I think he has more, but if you're on his page, it should bring you here. You could do a search and how to add music to your stream and overlays. OBS full tutorial, this first one, this 14 minute 40 seconds. Watch this one and watch this one again and watch it a third time. Okay? He's really good at explaining things, but for someone like me, I can kind of grasp everything the first time. I have to absolutely go back and reference it a second time, possibly the third time, just so I get everything right. That's exactly what I did with this. I made sure I watched this entire thing. You could even see, like, I got up to this point where I needed something and paused it. That's the last place I paused it. I wasn't quite done with the video, but I paused it at that particular point, right? Same with the next ones. How to do the stream overlay, how to add music. You could see I've watched these. Stream labels, this one's one that I started, but you could see there's a lot here. He's got a lot. That's another way to find it. Once you're on his page, type in Streamlabs OBS and his name, and it will bring up all the rest of this. So he's a really good one for OBS for Streamlabs, which is what I use. You can see my icon down here at the bottom. Streamlabs OBS, which is what you're looking at here on screen. And I keep it right above my recycling bin, my desktop shortcut, and I have it on my taskbar. So that's pretty much it. You could obviously minimize it too. So if I minimize it, you guys won't see anything. You'll just see a blank desktop. It's still open, right? Let me just make sure it. Yeah, I didn't close it out. All right, so you should see a blank desktop in a second there. I don't know what the delay is, but I think it's usually like a 7 or 8 second delay. Maybe it's 10 seconds. I'm not sure. You won't see anything, and then I'll pop it back up. Yep, there it goes. So what I do is when I'm playing the game and I'm streaming Skyrim, right? Let's turn my headset back on again. Okay. So when I'm streaming Skyrim, when you guys are watching me, I've always got Discord open here, right? The Rangers Discord. I always have my YouTube Live, this that you guys are chatting in now. This is always my second tab. I usually don't have a third tab at all. I just happen to have Bethesda up because I ported in and made a clutter over to console. So I was working on that. I literally just finished this up today. So I usually don't have a third tab open. What I normally do is once I go live with OBS, right? I'll go starting soon, and then where it says end stream here, it says start stream. It will be in green. Okay, hit that. It will prompt you, say, do you want to confirm and go live? You would again confirm that go live. Then what I do is I minimize OBS, so it's down here on my taskbar. You can see it's still there. And in the live dashboard for YouTube Live, I then copy this. I go over to my channel here, and I paste it in here. Then I'm pretty much done with this. Then once I'm up, I have my mod organizer. I would go to the game, SKSE. This is my modding profile. I still have Atherlors on here. I would hit run, and then once you have game capture on there, it automatically picks up your game. And then it's just a matter of me sitting here playing the game and constantly looking at my phone just to see who's chatting, who's saying what. When I go to take a break, I'll pull back up OBS and I'll put the be right back message up. So I think I'm supposed to have music for that, right? Hold on. Oh, yeah. There, see, that's why it's working. And now you see that the screen has changed too, but you can hear the music. So I decided to use this music for my Be Right Back, but the problem is that I can't get the Be Right Back logo that you're looking at to stay on the screen. It just kind of defaults to this picture that I use, which I don't mind, but I'd rather people know that it's I'll be right back. So if I need to close that with the music, then I'm, right back to BRB. And then you just hit live scene to go right back, and then uh, your game capture always stays open, but when you want to stream your game, you're going to close the display capture eye, this little eye right here, make sure that's closed. That will pick up your game, okay? That's very important. If you don't have that little slash through that eye, we won't be able to see your game. When you want to go back to it, game capture, right? So everything's open right now. That's why you guys are seeing my screen. That's about it. There's really nothing else to it. There's more things. Obviously, I'm still learning a lot of things myself, which is why, I don't have the really nice intros you see with Couch Warrior, because he's been doing it for a long time and he's very, very good at what he does. Same with almost every other YouTuber that covers, like they do showcase videos or their own live streams. They've been doing it for a long, long time. I'm still learning these things, but at least I can kind of give you a novice's view of a basic setup. And then obviously I could point you guys in the right direction to other people that do experience tutorials. Like I said, Dusty's one of them. He's one of the few. I have watched a few other channels, and they said they were geared towards people just starting, but man, the way they explained it was just I couldn't grasp it, and I have a fairly high IQ. I was pretty much top of my class throughout everything. But the way that they were explaining it was like Greek to me, and I never took Greek, so of course I don't understand it. Dusty breaks it down pretty simply, and his was the first that I found, so obviously his is the first that I'm going to endorse and recommend anybody else to. And he's got a really pleasant look and a really pleasant voice. He makes it fun to sit there and learn from him. So, I read anytime. I really do hope it helps, for you and anybody else that's watching right now. Just to kind of get an idea of how I go about it, what's on my screen, what's in my background. Obviously I have Steam up here, Mod Organizer. Yeah, obviously I have running for my games. Like if I wanted to stream Enderall right now, right? I'd keep it on live scene. I would close down the display, which you guys probably won't be able to see, but I'll open it again so you can see it. I would go to my Enderall profile, and I would go to Enderall, and I would just hit run, and make sure that display capture was turned off. My game capture eye stays open, and then my game would pop right up. You guys would be able to see some Enderall. But that's basically it. I don't really think there's anything else that I can go over now. You'll get messages like this on occasion. Oh, God. That's my text messenger going off in the back. I'm sorry. Drop frames detected. You could check this. 11%. It goes back. This will fluctuate. You'll get messages like this all the time. Sometimes you'll get a lot of them. Sometimes you only get a couple. Sometimes you may not get any. Really depends on your connection and your speed, where you're at. If you're in a large city and you have like what is it called? Not cable, fiber. Yeah, you probably won't have any issues. You could probably set your resolution high. You see, it just did it again. One drop frame. Yeah, not a big deal. If you're getting too many of them, though, your stream health will suffer. You'll see this green turn to like yellow, turn to red. And sometimes when you're in game, it's hard to keep track of this unless you have a second or third monitor. For me, I just have the one, so I have to rely on my phone not buffering to show me. You have fiber? That's awesome, man. You're like 4 steps ahead of me. Your stream should be perfectly fine. I thought my download speeds were great with the cable we have here. I'm starting to hit like 32 megabyte downloads a second. And I know John Rose, I think he's outside or he's in Atlanta or someplace like that. I don't know. He's somewhere down there in Georgia, right? He's got something like 460 megabytes per second download. It's crazy speed. So I'm happy with the cable. It does the job for me for where I'm at. So, but that's about it, guys. I really don't think there's anything else I can go over for the settings here. Audio. Um, oh, yes, there is. Sources. Okay. I'll show you this real quick. I'm going to swap over to my starting screen, soon screen. I'm going to turn the music off for a second. So just type in the comments there if you can see this without the music, okay? You're going to have to do one additional step to get the music playing. Where you're on your scene, my starting soon scene, if you want to add music to this, you have your music. You're going to want to come over to the mixer side, okay? Now, you're going to click on the little gears icon. I'm going to do that again so you guys can see that. You're going to click on the gears icon. Oh, you can't see it. Okay. Hold on. Let me just swap back. All right. All right, that should be better. So this is going to be kind of hard to see, but just kind of bear with me here. You want to add music to your starting soon scene, right? So you would be on starting soon. I'm not going to be because you guys won't be able to see it, okay? When you add that music in, you're going to have to come over to this mixer, this gear icon, open advanced audio settings. You're going to click on that. Where it's got, I'm trying to think of which one it is here. Oh, because I'm on live, it's going to be different. You guys, it's going to be hard to see. I'm probably going to have to refer you to Dusty's video because he's got a cam so you guys can see him, and he's got a secondary monitor to do all that, so it's a little hard. Basically, where it says monitor off, but it's going to be over in your starting soon under your media source. So for me, it would be starting music. So like my starting music would appear here somewhere. You would hit this open advanced settings option, and it's going to say starting music or starting soon scene, but it's always going to default to monitor off, right? All of these are always going to say monitor off. You're going to want to make sure you select monitor and output. If you have monitor only mute output, make sure you have a really good microphone, or I should say a secondary microphone, something to talk into, so you could talk over it. But you want monitor and output. This right here says monitor only, just because this is my live scene, and this is I'm talking to you through an auxiliary mic. To set something like that up, I'm in the wrong one. Let me see. You would go to add a source. You would go to, let's try this. I think it's display capture. I may get this wrong. Let's just try this. So you could add a secondary monitor. Okay, I don't want to do that. Let's go to media source. Nope. See, now I'm afraid I'm going to start confusing you guys. I will refer you to Dusty's channel to see that. He goes over that in detail. And it's a lot easier than watching me in my weird screen. So that's about it. It's a short one today. I am couple notes. I am setting up a new Skyrim. I know I still have Athrulur's files in here, but I'm retiring him for a little while. unfortunately. Reason for it is I did 2 recent starts with him, and neither felt very organic. It felt somewhat forced to me. Maybe not to you guys watching, but it felt forced to me. And he's not gone away. I'm going to keep his profile, but you can see my mods are down. I was up over the 400 mark because I've been removing patches, things like that. I'm coming up with a new character. I have a pretty good character in mind. And then after seeing what Nesbitt's done with Markarth Heights, Markarth itself should be out fairly soon. I don't think it's going to be a large city overhaul file size. I know the Heights. Let me see if I can even show it. I'm not sure how much of it I can show you. There's a snippet. Okay. So I don't want to. The ones that he has the spoiler tag on, I obviously can't show you guys. These right here. Only Sword, myself, and 2 others are able to see that. If you haven't seen the Heights already yet, you're in for a really, really nice treat. It looks fantastic. Mark art itself, you're going to be blown away by it. Just like I said with Riften, just like I said with Morthal, and especially with Riverwood Grove. The way that he goes about certain things is amazing. I've been privy to some, obviously early access, being a patron, and he does those patron videos often. We get daily stuff like that, and not just that on like that's his Discord, that's his own private Discord. But for his people that are patrons of his, we have actual input to what goes into these mods, these mods that have been coming out. Even as back as TPOS2, for certain areas, he'll say, "Hey, what would you like to see? Is there something that you don't like?" And then, especially with the city overhauls recently, he has a vision, and I think he takes input from those of us that are patrons. It's obviously not just Sword and myself. He's got a ton of patrons on there that I'm assuming are also giving input. I give him input directly through Discord, whether it's through our Discord at Rangers or his own. I know Sword does the same. But anybody else that's a patron, and they go into those city overhauls, even if it's a subtle touch, that nobody else on the planet would get. Nobody else would get, but that one person that suggested it may see it and then be like, "Hey, that was my idea," and he goes as far as to do things like that. So, and this is why I've been a very, very big supporter of his, even when I was just on console. I always loved playing with his mods, and obviously back then I didn't know him like I did now, and I feel very fortunate to have gotten the chance to speak with them, talk to him. Definitely fortunate to be able to handle the content for Xbox. And then obviously you guys saw what happened with our Discord. Just the Discord itself just grew so significantly. Very proud of that. With everybody in there, I'm really proud of you guys, all yous. But I think that's why it's important to to endorse mods, rate them appropriately. Personal thing of mine too is if I don't like a mod, I just don't rate it. You guys know we get those 1-star trolls. They go out of their way to download a mod and just immediately 1-star it, and it's to kick the mod author in the ass immediately. I'm pretty much over it. I know that that's gonna happen with my shit. To other mod authors though, I mean it's a work of art. It's more their pride taking a hit than the actual content. They know their content's good, but it's a pride thing. Um, so if there's a mod that I try and I use, but it's just not for me, I don't rate it. Or if it's a mod author that I know but they've been struggling lately, I'll give it an excellent rating in hopes that that will boost their confidence and maybe kind of kick them in the ass a little bit to say, oh, you know what, they do like this. Let me see if I can create something that's even better. That's what goes through my head. Um, I do use mods by mod authors that I personally don't like, but I do test them and I do rate them accordingly. I'm not an asshole about it. I will rate somebody's mod well if I like the content. That goes for anybody that's ever put out a mod. Uh, I may not personally like that person, but if they put out a good mod, I'm gonna rate it appropriately. I'm gonna give them a good rating because the content itself is there. Now, if I know it's stolen, that's a whole different story. I just don't rate it. But definitely important to support the OMAs, guys. I'm done. I've pretty much prattled on a little bit, too much more than I should. OBS, go visit Dusty's page on YouTube uh, for more in depth. But that's basics. Those are the basics. So I'm gonna hop over to Discord. I will see you guys there. Enjoy. Have a good night.